I guess I felt like it wasn't my place to be active in politics. And I just sat down on my bed, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Really, it changed my personality from somebody who would never leave home to somebody who every night of the week was getting in my car, going somewhere, hosting events, meeting tons of people.
It's crazy to think like that someone like me was told to just, go out there, organize. I mean, did you feel that way when you were asked to organize Colorado?
Oh, I was never asked. That's the big thing, is I did not wait for anybody to give me permission. There was a bar in Denver that was having an event for when Pete was announcing his candidacy. So I went to the bar. It was and there was a ton of people there. I just happened to be sitting around 4 people. I was one of 4 people who were super motivated to let's just do this. And I remember looking at that group of people and saying, it's like, we have no idea what we're doing, but let's go do it. And I reached out to the regional organizing director who was in charge of Colorado. And that was that. That was like, all right. So yeah, not asking for permission. We already had something established. So that's why when I reached out to her, that we could just keep it moving. But yeah, definitely during the campaign, tons of imposter syndrome going on all the time. But that was the great thing about that campaign, is that it was that welcome.
Well, how did you hear about Pete?
I kind of had nothing to do with politics for a long time, just because, I kind of completely lost all hope. But then I was cleaning my house one day, and I live alone. So I'm cleaning my house. And when I do that, I put a podcast on the background just for noise. And all of a sudden I heard someone say these words that my climate researchers have been saying. I just remember, just, clear as day. I just remember hearing some very soothing voice saying that. And I just sat down on my bed, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And that complete lack of hope got spun around 180. And suddenly I had this just absolute fire lit underneath my butt. You probably might not be able to tell now, but I used to have really bad social anxiety. Like, I couldn't go anywhere. I never went out to, bars or restaurants or anything like that. It was physically impossible for me to do that. But then I saw that his campaign, when he was going to announce his candidacy, was going to be at a bar. And I got myself to go. I had such a fire underneath my butt that even that crippling anxiety, I pushed my way through it and got myself into that bar. So yeah, it hearing his voice, hearing the things that he's saying, knowing that he was the one, as we've found, he's this excellent messenger. And, to push forth climate change in these real practical ways that people on the ground will understand, plus make the policy choices. Somebody that can do both of that. And he's that guy. So part of organizing, how do you find people, right? How do you find people who have also, like me, randomly heard of this guy, right? Especially early on. I was in Colorado, and Colorado is very well known for its breweries, right? So I would go to breweries and cafes and have our events there. So I did a brewery tour around all of Colorado, and that would never have happened if I hadn't had that fire underneath me to push me through. And, really it changed my personality in a way, right? It's just like, from somebody who would never leave home to somebody who, was now every night of the week was getting in my car, going somewhere, hosting events, meeting tons of people. So yeah, real 180 for me.
Well, this is interesting, because I imagine there are a lot of other people like us who suffer from anxiety. I remember my husband was shocked when I said to him, we're going to go to a stranger's house across the river for a vegan brunch and hear Pete announce that he's running. And he's like, what have they done with you? Because I don't go across the street, let's be clear, for anything. Getting in my car and going places, I just don't like it. There are a lot of people like us
Yeah.
But when the cause we're working for, the person we're working for, when that's more important than the fear,
Exactly.
it's like you think to yourself, will this kill me? Probably not. And one of the things Gary says is, the way you felt after the 2016 election, do you want to feel like that again? That was a huge motivating factor. When I heard him say that, it was a huge motivating factor for me to say, no, if you don't want to feel like that, then you're going to have to get out there and be a little uncomfortable. And it does get easier, doesn't it?
It does. For me, one thing that really helped is I was wearing a hat, and like literally for Pete, it was wearing a Pete hat, right? It's just like I was wearing a hat. And that's helped me continue on. I've never been out there doing something just as me. I've always been wearing the hat of something. So I'd be wearing the building bridges hat. Well, that lets me go into these rooms and work a room and hobnob. It's like, that's not me. But if I'm wearing the building bridges hat, I can do that, or working for a local Democratic group. It's like, okay, it's not me, but it's my county Democrats. I'm putting on that hat. Mm-hmm. So for me, that helps create that, it's enough of a separation from it just being me. That's why I'm really passionate about growing more grassroots groups. Mm-hmm. So give people more of that opportunity, wear a hat of a purpose, a bigger purpose than just putting yourself out there, but it's then for a group or for an organization. So yeah, those are things that can help people helped me get through that barrier of not feeling. I guess I felt like it wasn't my place to be active in politics. Mm-hmm. I'm not a politician. I have no interest to ever be. I'm not a career politico, But yeah, being part of an org or creating my own and putting on that hat then allows me to walk into those spaces and have a purpose, have a role.